Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tessie and today we'll be making a bootcut trouser. This tutorial is going to be very easy and straightforward. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly do that and let's get right into the video. So I'll be making use of a crepe fabric and I'll be using 2 yards because this fabric is stretchy. So as you can see, I folded my fabric into two. We'll be cutting the front part first. So for a palazzo pant, you need to leave some inches out. You can leave 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches. It depends on how full you want your palazzo to be. So for me, I'm just going to chalk 3 inches all the way down. So as you can see, I'm just chalking 3 inches all the way down. After chalking, I went ahead to connect it into a straight line. After chalking the 3 inches line, I'll be taking all my measurements on this part. So all the measurements will be starting after the 3 inches. So this will serve as my waistline. So from the waist, I connected down to my hip line. After chalking, I made it into a straight line. So the next line is from the waist to the crotch. After chalking, I connected it into a straight line. So what I'll be doing next is chalking from the waist to my knee. So go ahead to chalk from your waist to your knee. So from the waist to the knee is 20 inches. I chalked and I connected it into a straight line. So after doing that, you chalk the length of your pants. So this will serve as the length of my pants. So what I did was I chalked 3 inches and from the waist I chalked my hip line, then my crotch line, my knee line and my trouser length. So on that hip area, I'll be placing my hip measurement divided by 4 and I'll be adding half an inch because my fabric is stretchy. So my hip divided by 4 will give me 10.5 plus half an inch, that's 11 inches. After chalking, I'm going to be connecting this line to the waistline. So from the hip, I connected to the waist. So what I'll do next is chalk my round tie measurement divided by 2 on that crotch line. So my round tie divided by 2 will give me 13 inches, but I'll be adding extra 1 inches for allowance. So I have 14 inches. So I chalked 14 inches on that crotch line and I'm just going to curve in my crotch. So as you can see, I'm just trying to curve in the crotch. So what I'll be doing next is on that waist area, I'll place my waist measurement divided by 4 and I'll be adding 1 inches for allowance. I'm not adding that to it. In case you want to add your dart, you can add 1 inches for your dart. So my waist divided by 4 will give me 8 inches plus 1 inches for sewing allowance, which is 9. So I'll connect that point straight down to the hip line. So I'm just trying to blend it in. So what I'll be doing next is on this crotch line, I'm going to be checking what I have. So I placed my tape and I checked. I have 14 inches. So what you need to do is divide whatever you have by 2. So 14 divided by 2 will give me 7 inches. So I'm going to be placing 7 inches on this point. So from that point, I just chalked 7 inches. And you also chalk that same 7 inches at the length of the trouser. So I'm just going to chalk 7 inches at that length area. So what we are doing next is our round knee measurement. We are going to divide it by 2. My round knee is 20. Divided by 2 will give me 10. So that 10 inches, I'm going to share it on this point. So because my fabric is stretchy, I'll be adding extra half inches. But if your fabric is not stretchy, you can add 1 inches for seam allowance. So my 10 inches divided by 2 will give me 5. So I chalk 5 on this point. And on this point as well, I'm also going to chalk 5 inches. So what I'll be doing next is connecting from that crotch line straight down to that 5 inches and also from this crotch straight down to the 5 inches. So using my ruler, I'm just going to connect. So I'm also going to connect from this point straight down to that point. So on this down part of my palazzo, it depends on how full you want the down area to be. So for me, that 3 inches we left outside, I'm just going to be coming in by 2 inches. So as you can see, I chalked 2 inches, and I'm just going to be checking what I have from that 2 inches straight down to this point we have here. So I placed my tape and checked. I have 9 inches. So 9 inches is fine for me. So it depends on how full you want yours to be. So this 9 inches, I'm also going to chalk it on this other part. So from that point, I'm going to chalk 9 inches. So what we'll be doing now is connecting from this point all the way down to this point, and also connect from this all the way down to this. So just watch what I'm doing. So I'm trying to connect from my knee area all the way to that 2 inches line. So I'm just trying to blend. You can use your ruler. This fabric is a bit hard to work with. So I'm connecting from this other point all the way down to this point. So what I'll be doing next is on that waistline, I'll be coming down by 1 inch. So as you can see, I came down by 1 inch, and I'll be connecting from that waist. I'll be connecting from that waist to that 1 inch line. So guys, we are done with the front part of the palazzo. I'll go ahead now to cut. So just watch what I'm doing carefully. So this is what the front part of the palazzo looks like. We'll go ahead now to cut the back. So I folded my fabric into two, and I placed my front on the back. All my allowance will be on this part of the fabric. So on that waistline, I'll be coming in by 1.5. On the hip line, I'll also come in by 1.5. On the crotch line, I'll be coming in by 2 inches. If you're on the big side, you can come in by 2.5, 3 inches. It depends on if your fabric is stretchy. So from this point, I'll come in by 1 inches all the way down to the length of the top. So I came in by 1.5. On the hip, I came in by 1.5. On the crotch, I came in by 2 inches. You can come in by 2.5 if your fabric is stretchy. Then we came in by 1 inches all the way down. So now I'll be connecting the lines together. After connecting my lines together, on that front part, we came down by 1 inch. On the back area, you'll be going up by 1.5 inch. So as you can see, I chalked 1.5 inch, and I'm just going to connect it together. So now I'll be connecting that 1.5 line to the waistline. So as you can see, I just connected it to that front part. So this is what it looks like. So guys, we are done with the back part of the palazzo. I'm just going to be cutting it out. So after cutting them out, I have 2 pieces for the front and 2 pieces for the back. So now what we'll be doing next is joining our piece together. So to do that, you place one of the front and one of the back together. So as you can see, I have one of the front and one of my back together. So what I'll do now is stitch 1 inch all the way down, and I'll do the same thing for this part. So after stitching, this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to place them together. So go ahead, place your fabric together, and on that front part, we'll be stitching 1/2 inch all the way down to the crotch. So after stitching, this is what it looks like. So I just flipped it to this point. So what I'll do next is take my measurements. So on that waist part, I'll be taking my waist measurement divided by 2, which gave me 14 inches. So I chalked 14 inches on that waist point, and I placed my tape from my waist to my hip line. After doing that, I'll be taking my hip measurement divided by 2 on that point. So my hip divided by 2 will give me 20. Since this fabric is stretchy, you can see I'm trying to stretch out the fabric and chalk my 20 inches. So what I'll do is just connect the lines together. Now from that waist point, I'm just going to go half an inch to the crotch. So now I'll be stitching all the way down to this crotch part. So after stitching, what I'll be doing next is joining the flap area together. Make sure the lines are together. Then you stitch half an inch all the way down to the trouser length. After doing all of that, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So I've cut out my band and I have 4 inches. So on fold, it will be 2 inches. So now I'm just going to open one part of the side. After opening up that area, I'll be placing my band and I'll stitch all the way down to the end of this part. After doing all of that, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So I'm just going to attach my zip. I'll be using an invisible zip. After doing that, I'll show you guys the end result. So guys, this is what the boot cut looks like. As you can see, in case you want yours fuller than mine, when drafting the front part, make sure you leave enough allowance on that front area. Hope this tutorial was helpful. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. See you guys in the next class. Bye.